On the morning of January 15, 1947, a mother walking with her young daughter in the Leimert Park neighborhood of Los Angeles made a shocking discovery. Lying in a vacant lot at 39th Street and Norton Avenue was the body of a young woman, severed at the waist and posed in a way that horrified those who saw it. The victim was soon identified as Elizabeth Short, a 22-year-old aspiring actress originally from Massachusetts. Elizabeth had moved to California seeking a career in Hollywood, working various jobs and living a transient life in Los Angeles. Known by friends for her striking, dark hair and preference for black clothing, she earned the nickname Black Dahlia after her death, inspired by a recent film and her appearance. The discovery of her body triggered an immediate and massive police response. The Los Angeles Police Department, under intense public and media pressure, launched one of the largest investigations in the city's history. The case drew national headlines almost instantly, with newspapers competing to publish the most dramatic details. Elizabeth Short had last been seen alive on January 9, 1947, when she left the Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles after meeting a man she hoped would help her career. Witnesses reported seeing her in the lobby that evening, appearing well-dressed and waiting for someone. She never returned to her residence, and her whereabouts for the next 6 days remain unknown. Police initially treated the case as a homicide with possible sexual assault elements, but the condition of the body and the way it was left suggested a deliberate and calculated act. The killer had gone to great lengths to clean and position the remains, indicating both care and a desire to send a message. Early investigators worked around the clock, interviewing hundreds of people who knew Elizabeth and following up on tips that flooded in. The case quickly became a media sensation, with tabloids publishing graphic descriptions and photographs. The Black Dahlia investigation would go on to become one of the most famous unsolved murders in American history, drawing attention for decades. The crime scene itself provided few immediate clues, but raised many questions. Elizabeth Short's body had been carefully cleaned, drained of blood, and severed at the waist with surgical precision. The cuts were remarkably clean, suggesting the perpetrator had some medical knowledge or experience with dissection. Her face had been mutilated in a distinctive way, and her body was posed with arms bent above her head. No blood was found at the scene, indicating she had been killed elsewhere, and the body transported. A small piece of concrete was found near the remains, and tire tracks were noted, but no definitive vehicle identification was made. The absence of struggle marks and the condition of her clothing suggested she may have been restrained or incapacitated before death. The media frenzy began almost immediately, with newspapers publishing sensational headlines and photos of the crime scene. The Los Angeles Examiner and other outlets ran front-page stories, fueling public fascination and speculation. Reporters nicknamed her the Black Dahlia after the 1946 film The Blue Dahlia, and the name stuck. The case became a cultural phenomenon, with the gruesome details dominating headlines for months. Police received thousands of tips, many from people claiming to have seen Elizabeth or the killer. The investigation focused on her movements in the days before her death, her relationships, and anyone who might have had a motive. Early theories ranged from a jealous lover to a random attack to a serial offender. The lack of physical evidence at the scene made it difficult to narrow suspects quickly. Investigators interviewed hundreds of people, including men Elizabeth had dated or met in Hollywood circles. The case highlighted the challenges of homicide investigations in the 1940s, including limited forensic technology and intense media pressure. Despite the attention, no arrests were made in the immediate aftermath. The Black Dahlia murder became a symbol of Hollywood's dark side and the dangers faced by young women pursuing dreams in the city. Decades later, the case continues to attract researchers, writers, and amateur detectives hoping to solve what remains one of America's most notorious unsolved homicides. Over the years, several individuals have been named as potential suspects in the Black Dahlia murder, though none have been conclusively linked. One of the most prominent figures was Dr. George Hodel, a Los Angeles physician and gynecologist. Hodel's son, former LAPD detective Steve Hodel, later claimed his father was the killer, citing circumstantial evidence including a handwriting match on a letter, a photograph resembling Elizabeth, and alleged incriminating statements. George Hodel was investigated in the 1940s but never charged. He later moved to the Philippines and died in 1999. Another suspect was Leslie Dillon, a bellhop who claimed knowledge of the crime and wrote to authorities with details. Dillon was briefly considered but cleared after further investigation. Orchids and other floral connections led to speculation about a florist or someone in the flower trade, though no solid evidence emerged. Some theories pointed to organized crime figures, including Bugsy Siegel, due to Elizabeth's reported connections in Hollywood nightlife. A man named Mark Hansen, who owned a nightclub Elizabeth frequented, was questioned but eliminated as a suspect. Other names surfaced over time, including a surgeon, a mortician, and various transients, but none were ever charged. The LAPD's original investigation included thousands of interviews and polygraph tests, but forensic technology of the era limited what could be proven. In the 1990s and 2000s, renewed interest led to re-examination of evidence. In 2013, a retired detective claimed to have found a potential match to a suspect through handwriting analysis, but the lead did not result in new charges. As of 2026, the Los Angeles Police Department still lists the case as open and unsolved. Modern genetic genealogy and DNA techniques have been applied to remaining evidence, but degradation over time and chain of custody issues have complicated efforts. No definitive identification has been made, and the killer's identity remains one of the enduring mysteries of American true crime. The Black Dahlia murder of Elizabeth Short in 1947 remains one of the most infamous unsolved cases in American history. The brutality of the crime, the media frenzy, and the lack of resolution have kept it in the public eye for nearly 80 years. The case highlights the challenges of homicide investigations in the 1940s and the lasting impact of sensational coverage. Despite extensive efforts by police, amateur sleuths, and modern forensic methods, no one has been definitively linked to the crime. As of 2026, the LAPD continues to list it as an open case, with occasional new tips and re-examinations of evidence. The story of Elizabeth Short serves as a reminder of the dangers faced by young people pursuing dreams in big cities and the questions that can linger when justice is not achieved. What do you think? Who do you believe was responsible for the Black Dahlia murder? Do you think it will ever be solved? Share your thoughts in the comments, we read every one. If true crime mysteries and unsolved cases like this keep you thinking, subscribe to our True Crime and turn on notifications for new deep dives every week. Because some stories, no matter how much time passes, still refuse to give up their secrets. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and stay curious.